everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about when Jank Works, some surprisingly strong pet cards in Commander that, well, you should be playing. Now, cards can be janky for one reason or another. Mostly, they're just kind of off the wall and different than other cards that you see. And you're like, what? Okay. So, first of all, let's talk about Chamber of Manipulation. This janky card enchants a land. And yeah, when it comes to cards that typically see play, usually we don't have land auras outside of, like my Garth deck. Or maybe your every now and then Fertile Ground, essentially. That being said, enchant land. For 4 mana, it's an enchantment aura. Anyways, an enchanted land has tap, discard a card from your hand, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Now, this one is, well, from my childhood. It's nostalgic for me, obviously, so it is kind of a pet card for me, but also, it is a crazy good card, obviously, as well. And actually, it does kind of tell you, actually, what you can do with it in the actual... Well, flavor text. Politics is just a subtle form of mind control, and Sephlids are master politicians. Well, not necessarily about Sephlids, but politics. This is a card that allows you to utilize it in so many different kinds of ways. Now, the downside, quote-unquote, to this card is that it doesn't grant that creature haste, meaning that when you steal that creature, you can't just swing with it, okay? Unless you've got another way to grant haste, which you might, and if so, great, cool, you can swing with it. That being said, there are other reasons to steal creatures, of course. One being, well, I steal someone else's creature, so they can't attack me with it. I steal someone else's creature so I can activate whatever ability they might have, as long as it's not like, say, a tap ability, get whatever effect it might have, or utilize them as fantastic blockers and political tools for you. Again, basically, what can happen with this is, it can be a repeat removal spell for you, just at the cost of tapping a land and discarding a card, and there are certain decks out there that can even benefit from discarding cards too. But yeah, being able to say, hey, yeah, player over there, that's not that big of a threat to me right now. Hey, other player over there has got this really scary creature over here that, has these amazing abilities, probably their commander. I'll gain control of it, you swing at me, and then I'll block with it, and you can take out that creature, basically, right? So essentially, you can utilize it as a, again, political piece, a political tool, or just, again, inherently, someone's attacking you, and you're like, oh, I don't like that. Cool, all right, I'll steal that other creature over there that I also don't like, block with that one, and all of a sudden, hey, it's gone. Or again, steal a creature that... yeah, someone that is attacking you, steal their other creature. Utilize it again in a politic way to make it so that that opponent does not come at you or does so and takes it out. There's a lot of directions you can go with this gem. Let's stick with enchantments though for janky cards. I love this one. Fight or Flight. Enchantment for 4 mana in white. At the beginning of each opponent's combat phase, separate all creatures that player controls into 2 face-up piles. Only creatures in the pile of their choice may attack this turn. This is incredibly spicy in that, well, again, it affects everyone's combats. Every one of your opponent's combats, you get to decide, hey, you know what? Let's just basically split your army in half. And all of a sudden, your strength of attack is half as much. So this obviously can be a great way to protect yourself. But obviously, again, a great negotiating tactic, a great political tool where you say, hey, you know what? Do you want your army halved? Do you want that strength of your army actually halved? Or... hey, if you just, swing at that other player over there, I will choose one pile with no creatures, and then one pile with all the creatures, and then you can still choose to actually swing at the, other players, essentially. So you can utilize it as a really good way to either protect yourself or, again, incentivize attacking other players. It's very weird, it's very janky, it's very off the wall. Go check it out. On the other end of things, there's Stand or Fall, which has some amazing artwork as well. Enchantment for 4 mana in red. At the beginning of your combat phase, separate all creatures defending player controls into 2 face-up piles. Only creatures in the pile of that player's choice may block this turn. Again, on the other end of things, you are making the blocking now half as effective for your opponents when you are swinging. Now, unfortunately, this is just on your combat phase. You can't do it on your opponent's combat phases too, which would be very nice. That being said, it still is an amazing card when it comes to getting your army through. Again, if an opponent has one amazing blocker and you're like, I don't like that, you go over here, the rest of your creatures over here. Or, of course, yeah, just splitting it in half and making it so your opponent can only block with half the resources is absolutely huge as well. So yeah, this janky card can be incredibly effective for you at getting through. Sticking with enchantments, we've got War, Cadence, an enchantment for 3 mana in red. X in a red. This turn, creatures can't block unless your controller pays X for each blocking creature they control. This is a very weird kind of taxing effect that, again, you usually see this on the, like, ghostly prison side, right? Where it's like, okay, you can't attack me unless you pay this. This turns it around and says, you know what? I'm going to make it really annoying for you to block me, essentially. Or not even just me, again, because this can be a political tool for you as well, and you might not realize that, but again, it just says this turn. It's not like, oh, okay, it has to be on my turn. It's only my creatures that your opponents have to pay to actually block. It can be, again, a political tool like, hey, I've got some mana open. Instead of attacking me, because I've got some decent blockers here, if you attack that player over there, I'll pay a decent amount of mana into this, and yeah, you can go through on them, and they won't be able to block efficiently, effectively, or at all. So again, use it in a political way. Use it in a way where, again, you can be aggressive. It can be a finisher for you, too, where you can get your entire army through. Again, if you're like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, swing out at you, pay into this, and you've got to pay 5 for each attacking creature, essentially, each blocking creature, they're not going to be able to do that, like, past the first one. So they can be like, I block one thing, and then I'm gone. Basically, army's unblockable. It's very flexible, very political, a great janky card. Next up, Paradox Zone is one that has come in huge for me as well. I definitely say one of my pet cards that I absolutely love. An enchantment for 5 mana in green. Enters the battlefield, a growth counter on it. At the beginning of your end step, double the number of growth counters on it. Then create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. You get X counters on it, X the number of growth counters on Paradox Zone. Basically, make a 2/2, then make a 4/4, then make an 8/8, then make a 16/16, 32/32. You see where this is going. This is the type of card where, well, I mean, obviously with like proliferate type effects or, you know, doubling effects for counters that can be even more effective. That being said, you don't really need to. You're just like throwing it out there and opponents are like starting off like, oh yeah, haha, cute, a 2/2. Oh my goodness, a 4/4. Oh my gosh, an 8/8. Literally takes 3 triggers off this thing to essentially start making the biggest creatures on the board. And then it just gets more and more and more ridiculous, ultimately making creatures that are so massive, they are one-shot KOs as well. Works great in counter strategies as well. Power matter strategies too. It is a really cool janky card that, again, your opponents will underestimate until they can't anymore. It is a great janky card to pick up. And I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but if you're interested in any of these janky, amazing pet cards, check out that card list link in the description below, where you'll also find Solitary Confinement, yet another card from my childhood, I think back from Judgement, if that, icon in the middle is actually correct. Anyways, I'm saying it correctly, I should say. Enchantment for 3 mana in white. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you discard a card. Skip your draw step. It's already starting off pretty bad here, but let's just keep going. You have Shroud, so you can't be the target of spells or abilities, and prevent all damage to be dealt to you. This is the ultimate, like, I'm just sitting here, you can't do anything to me type of card. So it is just like, I'm just going to stay here. Yeah, there's some downsides to it. All right, I have to discard a card. I skip my draw step. I want some cards. With certain types of commanders, with certain types of strategies, you've got other kinds of draw engines. You've got ways to just keep your hand full. You've got ways to draw an absurd amount of cards. So yeah, don't just play this right away, but play it once you're set up properly. And when you do, this is an amazing bubble just around yourself that says, yeah, okay, you can attack me. I don't care. That doesn't do anything to me at all. You can't target me. You can't do this. You can't do that. Until you deal with this card, you are not dealing with me at all. So yeah, it is definitely an amazing card for the right kind of a strategy out there. Again, yeah, not for every strategy. It's very janky, but it is a great card for strategies that can, again, consistently draw cards, that can ensure that they have draw engines in play to make up for the lack of resources you're going to have if you don't think ahead of time. It is a really cool pet card. Make sure you check it out. Next up, super weird old card. Again, apparently these are just cards from my childhood, but still, anyways, there's a lot of jank back then. Enchantment for 3 mana in blue, Web of Inertia, also from Judgement. At the beginning of each opponent's combat phase, the player may remove a card in their graveyard from the game. If the player doesn't, creatures they control can attack you this turn. Being able to essentially say, hey, you know what? Hey, yeah, remove something out of your graveyard. Oh, wait, you don't have anything in your graveyard. Now, obviously, this is for specific types of strategies that can utilize different ways to manipulate graveyards, that can utilize ways to, exile things that would be put into graveyards. It is a specific card, I will grant you that, obviously. But it is also just kind of like the ultimate pillow fort type card, the ultimate ghostly prison. If you can control graveyards, and you can ensure that players don't have anything in their graveyards, you are unattackable. And again, that just makes it so that, again, you can't be attacked, but it doesn't say your opponents can't be attacked. So again, because this was initially probably invented, obviously, for a non-multiplayer format, it's not taking that into mind, and it's like, okay, cool, you can't attack me, but yeah, swing through on the other players, because you want to use your creature still, don't you? Again, very janky, very specific, but very amazing pet card for the right strategy out there. Moving on, let's sow some craziness into the board with Infernal Genesis, an enchantment for 6 mana in black. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, the player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Then they make X 1/1 black minion creature tokens, where X is the card's mana value. So basically, hey everyone, let's just change up what we're doing, okay? We're milling a little bit. Cool. Good for us. But while we're doing that, we're making a massive amount of minions potentially. Now, obviously, this is the type of card that works well when you want to force opponents to have creatures, and also maybe force yourself to have creatures too. If you've got a good amount of massive cards in the deck, cool, you can make a massive army. But yeah, this type of strategy can be great with one that punishes players when creatures die. Think things like, Blood Artist in play. Think things that are like, hey, yeah, when a creature you control dies, something bad happens to you. So essentially, ways to say, you know what, let's get a bunch of creatures on the board. Most of the time, again, forcing your opponents to have creatures that they probably don't want. And then you say, yeah, everyone, let's just sacrifice all our creatures. Let's just wipe out the board. Let's get a Wrath effect. And again, punish the opponents for, well, having all those creatures die. So again, it is a very janky card, a very amazing card, and one you can take advantage of in a lot of weird ways. Speaking of which, this gem is incredible. I mean, I absolutely loved it in my Kenny deck, but it is so janky. Definitely a pet card. Dismiss in a Dream. Enchantment for 6 and a blue. Each creature your opponents control is an illusion in addition to its other types and has. When this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Now, making your opponent's creatures illusions specifically probably doesn't have any effect really, but what does have the effect again is just, hey, if they become a target of absolutely anything, it's gone. Just not even like destroyed, like you can't get around the indestructible. No, it is sacrificed. It is gone. So obviously this makes it so your opponents can't target their own things, which certain strategies absolutely want to do. And also it makes it so that, again, with a commander like Kenny, where you just have like a very easy target ability, like, hey, okay, I'll pay 2 mana, put a counter on that. All of a sudden your commander's just like, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. So for certain types of strategies out there where you have a lot of targeting effects, oh my goodness, this is just all of your targeting effects, abilities, or spells are now just one-shot KOs on anything. On top of that, it prevents your opponents from, again, utilizing certain strategies at all. Definitely a very cool card, and one that, again, is a pet card, is janky, but is incredibly effective when it works. The final pet card that is an enchantment that I'm going to be bringing up is Dead Bridge Chant. Enchantment for 6 mana in total in Golgari. When it enters, mill 10 cards. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose a card at random in your graveyard. If it's a creature card, put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. This is the type of card where, yeah, it is random. And sure, you can, curate your graveyard in certain ways. Obviously, there's certain things out there where it's like, okay, I'll exile this out of my graveyard, exile that out of the graveyard, make sure I've got the right thing in my graveyard. But yeah, being able to essentially have a enchantment that mills you a ton, which can be great for a self-mill strategy, obviously, or one that is a reanimation strategy, and then just randomly get you back value the next turn. And again, even if you whiff on a creature, which, yeah, getting a creature back and just cheating it right into play is incredible, especially for ones that have great ETBs, LTBs if you sacrifice them again to get them back in the graveyard and again and again and again. But also, again, if you whiff, it's just like, oh, okay, regrowth every single turn. So it's either reanimation or regrowth literally every single turn, which is really fun. Again, it is random, it is janky, it's a pet card, it costs a decent amount of mana, but the amount of value you can get out of it is absolutely huge. Make sure you check it out. But now let's switch things up a little bit and move on to some sorceries with one of my personal favorite pet cards, Head Games. This is such a strange and specific card that there is literally nothing else like it. A sorcerer 5 mana in black. Target opponent puts the cards from their hand on top of their library. Search their library for that many cards. The player puts those cards into their hand, then shuffles their library. Basically, you choose what the player's hand is going to be. So it kind of isn't discard, but it kind of is, but also it's more flexible than that, and it's incredibly political. This is the kind of card that can just wreck someone's entire strategy, wreck someone's entire game, or save you in the rest of the table from another player. This is the type of card where, again, someone's like, oh yeah, I'm doing so good. I've got 7 cards in my hand. I'm doing a great job. Yeah, I've got a great board. And then you're like, okay, cool. Yeah, all right, head game's targeting you. And they're like, what in the world is that? And you're like, okay, give me your hand. All right, now put that in your library. Okay, now give me your library. All right, here you go. You get 7 basic lands. Yeah, you just ruined their entire strategy. Just ruined the entire plan that they had. They had this amazing hand ready to go, doing all these things. And now they're all of a sudden top decking. Yeah, they can play a land every turn, but it's turn 10 and who cares? So yeah, basically you can either just wreck someone's entire game plan by replacing their good hand with just complete garbage, or again, earlier on, be like, oh yeah, okay, you don't have enough lands in play? All right, I'll go find your highest converted mana cost things and just put them in your hand. You can't cast them and you're just stuck. Or, again, in a political way, let's say that you're in a desperate place, okay? You're like, oh, great. Yeah, that player over there is probably going to win the game. Their board state's insane. Yeah, they only got a couple cards in their hand, so using head games on them probably wouldn't help really slow them down because they already have that board state. Hey, other opponents, does anyone have just a Wrath that is perfect for the situation that can just save us all? Oh, you do? Okay. Is it okay if I target you with head games? I will go get that Wrath for you. Get you some other things as well that you can use to help out the table. But yeah, again, we need to do something about this right now or we're all going to lose. So again, it is a card that can shut someone down. It's a card that you can utilize to help the entire table outside of that one player that's kind of taking over the game. It is so janky, so weird, so political in certain ways, and so incredible in other ways. It is a game-changing card, and there's literally nothing else like it out there. Speaking of which, Fractured Identity. This is such a cool, weird card. Sorcery for 5 mana and Azorius. Exile target non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a token that's a copy of it. This card is incredible. Again, there literally is nothing else like it out there. It says, hey opponent, you thought you were doing great. Now everyone else is doing great. Or, again, if you have, like, a really weird, like, combo like Phage, again, which if it enters the battlefield and it wasn't cast, the player loses the game that has it. So, yeah, you can, like, do a weird combo where you get Phage in play and then cast this and give everyone else Phage. Or, like, other kinds of bad gift cards as well. That being said, more likely, you're utilizing this in really cool circumstances where an opponent's like, yeah, I played, Smothering Tithe, good for me. And you're like, all right, hey, other players, that player's got a huge advantage right now. Let's just, hey, you know what? Can we agree that we're just going to take that player down right now by everyone else getting a Smothering Tithe and just destroying this player? Oh, no! Yeah, basically, you say whatever the biggest threat on the board is, you're like, hey, now, other opponents, let's make a deal. I will get rid of that for us. If, again, you take the Eldrazi that I'm giving you or whatever, and you never swing at them with me, and you only can swing at the other player, that, we just stole it from. You can make deals with this card. You can, again, take a player down with this card. You can use it as a weird combo piece. It is so strange, so amazing, very unique, and very janky. Next up, speaking of which, Secret Rendezvous. Yeah, when this card was first spoiled, it was definitely a head-scratcher, but it has grown on me over the years, and, it is something that can absolutely turn a game in many ways. It's a sorcery for 3 mana in white. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. It's super simple, but super effective if you are good at politicking. Being able to essentially be like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We are going to, work together, okay? We are best friends now, all right? Just this simple 3 mana spell. It's like, oh yeah, draw 3 for 3 mana. You don't even get that in blue. So there you go. Being able to do so is quite nice. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, opponent, hey, who wants these 3 cards? 3 is a lot of cards to draw. You can just throw that out there like, who wants these 3 cards? All right, make the best deal for me. All right, I won't attack you for 4 turns. I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. Hey, if anyone has some removal, I don't like that over there. So, like, if I give you the 3 cards, will you get rid of that for me? It is a really good political tool that is absolutely incredible in a game of Commander. Definitely janky, definitely a pet card, and definitely a lot of fun when used properly. Okay, now if we were talking about other formats, I would not be bringing up Hypergenesis. It is banned, I believe, in Modern still. Anyways, it is such a fun and weird card, and you kind of need to build an entire deck around it if you really want to make the most of it, like my Cody deck. I absolutely love it. It is one, though, I will let you know that I do preface before I start playing, essentially, the game with the other players, and I say, hey, are you okay if we play this Hypergenesis deck? Because it can definitely turn a game on its head right away. It is green. Cool. Suspend 3 for 1 green. Starting with you, each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land from their hand on the battlefield, and then repeat this process until no one puts a card in play. It's basically Braids, but kind of on steroids. It's like, hey, you know what? We're just going to do all these things at once. And all of a sudden, yeah, the game is just everyone dump your hand into play and let's see what happens. But of course, if you build your entire deck around it, you can have certain interactions that benefit you more than your opponents. Like, okay, this creature ETBs, draws me some cards, replaces my things, bounces your things. You can do a lot of fun things with this. It's super janky. Again, it seems like no play in Commander at all. And you can do some crazy things with it, especially, again, when you build around it with like a Cody deck where you can just cast off the top of your library consistently. And again, right away, ignoring that suspend. So yeah, make sure you check that episode out. But yeah, definitely a crazy pet card that is so fun and so janky and so amazing and so game-changing. Go check it out. Okay, hear me out. All right, please hear me out. Flareon Ultimatum. I know that this is the least popular ultimatum in Commander for a reason, but hear me out. Sorcery for an obnoxious mana value. Green, white, blue. 7 mana in total, incredibly specific. But again, for a deck like my Joda deck, where it's like, okay, I pay Wooburg. Got it. That's kind of where you want to utilize it, or obviously a deck that can really actually utilize that mana value. That being said, choose 5 permanents you control. For each of those permanents, you may search your library for a card with the same name as that permanent. For those cards into play, tap, then shuffle your library. This obviously didn't see much play in Commander for an obvious reason. It's a singleton format. Here's the thing. Now, obviously, there are certain, kinds of cards out there, like if you have, say, Persistent Petitioners, or the Bunnies, or, what, I can't remember the bunny name, but yeah, Heir Apparent, there you go. Those types of cards, obviously, you can go, oh, okay, cool, yeah, okay, I utilize this in a great way to get 5 of those right away out of my library. It's fantastic. That being said, yeah, this is just great in 5 color if you've got the fixing for it, especially again with a Joda type deck where you're like, oh, okay, I've got my 5 basic lands in play. Okay, I go search for one of each of those basic lands. Again, if you are essentially utilizing, again, the right amount of ramp, the right amount of fixing, and you can easily get, again, like my Joda deck, which really cares about having Wooburg, I can easily cast this and all of a sudden go get 5 more lands. And I just paid 7 mana to ramp 5. And again, they could just come into play and you're like, yeah, cool, all right, awesome. I just almost doubled up the amount of mana that I have. It is an amazing card for those strategies. Again, it's super janky for a lot of other things, but really cool. Okay, let's shift over to instants with yet another card from my childhood, apparently. False Cure, here we go. An instant for 2 mana in black. Until end of turn, whenever a player gains life, they lose 2 life for each 1 life they gained. This is such an amazing, crazy, weird card that it's like, yeah, that's pretty crazy. First of all, in a life swap strategy, we're utilizing a card like, say, Axis Immortality. This can just be game ending, where, I mean, it pretty much always is game ending. We're like, okay, I swap life with you. Oh, you were going to gain life with that? Or, no, I mean, I guess Axis Immortality, you're like more so. I swap these 2 opponents' lives. One player is going down, one player is going up, and technically that is life gain, even though it's life swapping. So you can be like, oh yeah, you lose. You're gone. Bye. Thank you. So any kind of like a strategy where you're like, okay, actually actively having players gain life, obviously a great way to take them out incredibly effectively, but also just, yeah, there's life gain in Commander. Players play a lot of life gain decks. It's like one of the most popular deck types of all time. I think it's in the top 5. And being able to be like, oh, you just thought you were going to gain like 50 life this turn? Haha, good for you. 2 mana, you lose the game. Bye-bye now. Yeah, it's such a weird, janky card that can just make such an impact on a game. Speaking of which, super specific and super weird, Mirror Weave. An instant for 4 mana in Azorius. Each other creature becomes a copy of target non-legendary creature until end of turn. This is an absurdly amazing card in the right situation. It is just a card that, again, can unexpectedly just change the entire outlook of a game. It can be a card that can just absolutely save you in certain situations, too. If a player is attacking you with their massive army and you're like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. All right, I change all the creatures on the board to these little 1/1s instead, and now everything is a little 1/1, and I can block a lot more effectively and take out a lot of your things. It can also be a, oh, okay, you got a bunch of creatures, everyone's got a bunch of creatures, cool, and I have the most creatures, though. Okay, that's good. All right, so I've got a lot of token creatures out here, and all of a sudden, someone tries to cast a board wipe, and you're like, okay, oh, there's a Blood Artist on the board? Okay, everyone's creatures becomes a Blood Artist. Okay, I'm going to drain you all. Hi, bye. Yeah, being able to essentially, again, utilize an unexpected win condition, being able to utilize other opponents' creatures against them. Again, if someone's got a really powerful, say, like, again, I'll draw you with Annihilator, and you're like, well, I've got a bunch of tokens. Okay, cool. Everything becomes, again, that, Ulamog's Crusher or whatever, essentially. Okay, cool. All right, now I swing. Oh, everyone else loses all their things. I win. Yeah, again, it can just be an unexpected I win the game type card in a game that can just change things completely. Again, it doesn't have to be like you in the combat at all either, or even combat at all. But again, someone else swing at someone else and be like, okay, yeah, now I'll change everyone's creatures to this and just change up the game entirely. Such a cool, janky, weird card that has so many applications. I love it. When it comes to combats, though, and changing things up, Master Warcraft is so much fun. Instant for 4 mana in Boros can only be cast before, blockers and attackers are declared. You choose which creatures attack this turn, you choose which creatures block this turn, and how those creatures block. It's quite hilarious. This is a card where it can, again, be so flexible. It can just be, you can cast on your own turn if you want. Be like, okay, I choose these creatures to attack, which I already would have chosen, and I choose your creatures to block, and they don't block. Okay, cool. Or they block incredibly inefficiently. They block, like, this one creature so I can take certain things out. Maybe the creatures get indestructible as well. You can make it so that you turn this, like, into a board wipe, basically. Or you can turn it into, again, like, a game-winning, like, I'm swinging at you. Or, again, on an opponent's turn, you can be like, hey, these two players are actually teaming up, but I'm going to have that one swing at their buddy. And all of a sudden, block inefficiently. And everything gets taken out then, too. So it's kind of like a weird board wipe, weird goad card, weird unblockable card. It is everything all in one, and it is so janky and so lovely. Go pick it up. Next up, we've got Synthetic Destiny, an instant for 6 mana in blue. Exile creatures you control at the beginning of the next end step. Reveal cards to the top of your library to reveal that many creature cards. Put all creature cards revealed this way on the battlefield, then shuffle the rest of the revealed cards into your library. Yeah, this is quite fun. And keep in mind here, and this is something you might not realize, creature tokens do count. So, being able to just get a bunch of creature tokens in play, go absurdly wide and be like, okay, I cast this, and basically get all my creatures out of my deck. Yay! Have fun! And of course, you get all the ETBs. On top of that, keep in mind that this is a great way to avoid a board wipe as well. This is instant speed out of nowhere, and it says, hey, you know what? Okay, you cast a Wrath of God. In response, I get rid of all my creatures. They're all gone. And then that Wrath of God will resolve at the beginning of the next end step. That is when I start basically polymorphing off the top of my library to get those things in play. So again, it can be a game-changing card where not only am I upgrading my creatures, but also I am just saying, hey, you know what's going to happen? I'm avoiding that board wipe. All of you did not avoid the board wipe. You lost your creatures, and now I've got all the best creatures in play because I'm the only one who has creatures, and I cheat and play some amazing things. It is such a cool, janky, amazing card that can just change the game out of nowhere. Speaking of which, a newer pet card, Perch Protection, an instant for 6 mana in white. Gift an extra turn, which means that you can promise an opponent a gift as you cast the spell. Just an extra turn. If you do, they take an extra after this one. Create 4 2/2 blurred creature tokens with flying if the gift was promised. All permanents you control phase out, and until your next turn, your life total can't change and you gain protection from everything. Exile it. There are very few ways to just have all of that happen. There are very few ways to be like, all right, everything phases out. My life total can't change. I gain protection from everything. And one of those ways is incredibly expensive, and it's called Teferi's Protection. And obviously, that is a card that is crazy for a reason, and crazy expensive for a reason. This is that, but adjusted, and it is so much fun. So here's the thing, okay? Even without promising that gift, all right? Even without doing so, it is still an effective card. Instant speed, out of nowhere, 6 mana, make 8 flying power across 4 bodies. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Being able to essentially go, you know what, I kind of want to peace out because some crazy things are happening right now. You all deal with this. You can make the best deal in the world with this card by being like, here's what's going to happen, okay? This player over here is in an absurd position. They are so far ahead of everyone else, all right? What I want is the other 2 opponents. I need a deal from one of the 2 of you. I will give you an extra turn. Yeah. That is like an absurd gift. I know. It's like literally hey, I came for Secret Santa on Christmas, and I gave you a car. There you go. I mean, I don't know if they'd probably like the car, because they probably have to make, like, payments on that and stuff like that when it comes to, like, the actual, like, tax implications of it, I guess. But other than that, okay, I just gave you $100,000 in cash. There we go. There's your extra turn, essentially, okay? All of a sudden, this changes the game on its head by saying, okay, the player who's probably, like, in last, I can help them catch up a little bit and take down the other players. But you gotta make a deal with me. You can't swing at me for X amount of turns or whatever it is. I mean, the next turn doesn't even matter anyways. And obviously, when I come back, I'm gonna be in a better position. So yeah, give that extra turn to someone who is behind. Help them take down the other opponents. Make a massive deal with it as well. And of course, just peace out when crazy things happen with this. Yeah, it is a fun card. It is a janky card. And it is an amazing pet card. Next up, though, let's move on to some artifacts with Mirror of Life Trapping, if I could talk. Artifact for 4. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it was cast, exile, then return all their permanent cards, exile with Mirror of Life Trapping to the battlefield under their owner's control. This is a very, very, very strange card. And this is one that you might not realize, but you can really abuse with certain types of strategies out there, like ETB strategies, because the creature entering the battlefield still technically enters the battlefield, meaning that, hey, okay, it enters, I get its ETB, and it's exiled as well. So then, essentially, when it's exiled, it just stays out there, and then all of a sudden, when another creature is cast, all of a sudden, oh, that comes back into play. I get the ETB twice. This is a very weird version of Panharmonicon in a way, essentially, where it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just delayed creatures coming into play. It's also a good way to slow down your opponents potentially. Again, if they're playing like these big creatures or whatever, it's like, okay, I've got this amazing giant creature. Okay, it doesn't stay in play because I need to wait for something else to come in play. You can do some really weird things with something like this, and again, take advantage of certain types of strategies in some interesting ways. Definitely a cool card. Now, what this card most definitely was based on, though, is another weird, janky, off-the-wall pet card with Portalis Artifact for 4. Whenever any creature comes into play, if there are 2 or more other creatures in play, set that creature aside. If Portalis leaves play, put the creature to play under its own control. Okay, this is weird wording, because it's old, but basically, I think it's from Stronghold. Anyways, what it means basically is, hey, exact same thing as Mirror of Life Trapping, but kind of different in that max creatures in play is 2, which is a crazy low amount of creatures, obviously, because, hey, this is Commander, and we've got 4 players, and that's less than 1 creature per player. So this can just be, hey, I'm the only one who's allowed to have creatures in play for now, all right, everyone? So, yeah, just hold that out. Being able to essentially, again, utilize and abuse ETBs for yourself with this, you can find ways to maybe even blink this to essentially just, oh, okay, it went away. All right, my creatures come into play. I mean, yours do too, but I get all those ETBs right away. I reset things. It doesn't have a cast trigger requirement as well, so do keep that in mind. There's some very strange, weird, amazing things you can do with this, and again, it's a good control piece for you too. Definitely a weird, janky pet card. Next up, so brutally effective, and you might not realize it, Crown of Doom. This card is so much fun. For you, Artifact for 3. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. By paying 2, target player other than Crown of Doom's owner gains control of it. Activate only during your turn. This is a card that is so many things in one. It is not only an amazing kind of pump card where it's just like, hey, it's an anthem for armies that are attacking your opponents, basically. It's always going to be your opponents once you get rid of it the first time. But also on top of that, it in a way is like resource denial for your opponents too. It's like, oh yeah, you kind of need to pay the 2 every single turn that you have this, or your opponents are going to keep hitting you because you are now a bigger target. You are now something that, again, I've got more of an incentive to hit you because I do more damage when I hit you, essentially. So it's a way to, again, cause absolute chaos between your opponents and be like, oh, why'd you give that to me? How dare you? Oh, I had to give it to someone, but why'd you give it to me? It is a way to sow discord between your opponents. It's a way to more effectively have your opponents be attacked. It's a way to deny them of 2 mana every single one of their turns that they don't want to have this. It is such a cool, janky card that is so effective. Next up, Hunted Horror, a 7/7 with trample for 2 mana in black. Yeah, 7/7 trampler for 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 3/3 green centaur creature tokens with protection from black. Oh, in play under opponent's control. Yeah, again, you are giving away kind of the defenders against this creature, I would say, right? It still is a 7/7 with trample, so it's still bigger. That being said, again, Commander is a political game. There are 4 players. With this in one-on-one, yeah, this makes more sense, right? When it comes to like the downside of it. But you can turn this all into upside, and again, it's just 2 mana. You can do this super early. You can go, okay, hey, this is coming into play. Opponents. Yeah, so who wants these 2/3/3 centaurs? That's 6 power that you're getting for free on turn 2, basically. You get that. The only rule is you can't use them to attack me until it's just a one-on-one scenario. Okay, who wants it? Someone is going to take you up on that right away. You might even get them to agree like to never attack you at all with those 2 creatures because it's early in the game and they're not thinking about late game stuff. But being able to say, okay, not only do I have a threat on the board, which again is based off an ETB, which can be used and abused, but also, hey, I'm giving someone else threats that they can utilize against my other opponents too. So they can start taking down those other players as well. It's a really cool political card that you might not realize political, and it's so much fun. Moving on, Salt Skidder. This thing is janky and terribly amazing. I mean, it is the type of card when you first look at it, like, why was that ever invented? And it's the type of card when I look at it, I'm like, my goodness, I can think of so many weird decks that would absolutely love this. A 3/4 worm for 4 mana in white. Whenever another creature comes into play, remove it from the game. Then bring it right back into player subject control. So basically, yeah, this is just at the end of the turn. This is a card where it's kind of like it's scared. You know, it's like, oh, something else came into play. My goodness, I've got to run away. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Nor the wary type of style, essentially. But basically, this is a card where if you've got an ETB deck where you're like, hey, I've got a bunch of things. So like, hey, when a creature's coming to play, I get this effect. When a creature comes to play, I get that effect. There's a lot of commanders that have that kind of a benefit out there. A lot of decks that are built around that. All of a sudden, this is a way to say, oh, every single time literally any creature comes into play, my creatures, my opponent's creatures, doesn't matter, I get a free ETB off of this, basically. So again, it's once per turn, but it's just a free, I get it out there, all of a sudden, it is going. It is coming away, it's going, it's going, it's going away, it's coming away, it's coming away. All of the time. You can get so much value off of this. It is so janky, so weird, and so much fun. Moving on, another pet card that is super janky but super brutal, even though your opponents might not realize it until it's too late. A 1/1 Sephled Wizard, we've got Sephled Constable for 3 mana in blue. When it deals combat damage to a player, return to X target permanent that player controls from owner's hands, or X the damage it dealt to that player. Now, this is just a 1/1. It also doesn't have any evasion. And it's also, again, from Judgement. Apparently all these cards are from Judgement. Anyways, it doesn't have any evasion. So it's like, okay, if I happen to get this through on a player, I bounce something. Cool. Yeah, but certain types of strategies out there are incredible at pumping creatures and getting them through. And my goodness, the potential of this card when you do so is absurd. Again, you get it through and you pump it, say, to 10 power, and you're like, oh, it hits you. Okay, let's bounce your entire board, basically. This card is game-ending, game-changing, and again, so janky, but so effective for the right strategy out there. And your opponents might just laugh when it comes out like, what a little weird creature. It's a 1/1 for 3 mana. It's not evasive. What's it gonna do? Oh no, my board's gone. Oh no, my board's gone. Oh no! Next up, super weird, but super amazing and super hilarious, False Prophet, a 2/2 human cleric for 4 mana in white. When it's put in the grave from the battlefield, exile all creatures. Yeah, this is just a ticking time bomb in play that gets rid of everything super effectively. And again, exiling them, not putting them in graveyards, that is absolutely massive against certain types of strategies too. This is something where if you have sacrifice type effects, if you have, say, village rights or cards like that, you can control when this is going to happen. Or at the very least, it can be like a giant, like, never attack me type card. Like, if you attack me, the entire board goes bye-bye. So yeah, basically, again, this can just get taken out in combat by anything. It's kind of in a way not unblockable too, but like if your opponents don't want the board taken out, you're like, I swing at you. Take 2. You probably want to keep back for defense though. But yeah, again, ways to sacrifice it when you need to, ways to utilize it just as a never attack me, or ways to essentially be like, hey, other opponent who's not doing so well right now, that player over there has got a really scary board. It's your turn. You're in combat. Can you just swing at me with something that's like bigger than this so I can block and we can just take all the creatures, please? Thank you. It's very versatile in that way as well. It's quite fun. Next up, Hamlet back Goliath, a 6/6 giant warrior for 7 mana in red. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may put X counters on Hamlet back Goliath, where X that creature's power. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best solution in saying, you know what? I'm just going to put something into play that becomes the biggest threat on the board absurdly fast. Again, this is when any creature enters the battlefield, not just your own, not saying non-token, not like if it was cast. Doesn't matter. Whatever kind of creatures are coming in play, this keeps gaining more and more and more and more power. So yeah, this is going to be the heaviest hitting thing on the board in no time at all. Again, yeah, it doesn't have any evasion, any kind of way to get through, but if you're playing this, you got ways to get advantage of that power, ways to get that damage through, whether it's trample or some evasion, or literally just flinging it at an opponent's face. Sometimes the simplest solution, again, a janky solution, is the best one though, and this... oh, lovely creature is just so good at being like, hey, you know what? I'm big. That's good in Magic. Goodbye. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. As always, comment below your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.